everybody, and welcome back to Italy for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. Just looking at the riders going through there on their sighting lap. Look how wide a berth to the bank Jeffrey Herlings gave just then on his sighting lap. Wonder why that is, Jeff. Anyway, MXGP Race 2. We are at the penultimate round, the MXGP of Lombardia. We're at Mantova. The atmosphere absolutely sensational. Flares, fireworks, all kinds of stuff going on. If this was an indoor arena, you would not be able to see anything with the amount of smoke flying around in the air. The MXGP riders working their way towards the end of their sighting lap as we speak. And the racetrack here, 1,670 meters long, going to be a real test, a real challenge. It's a high-speed racetrack, and it's going to catch people out if you're not careful. Did that in race 1 as well, as we'll see from the highlights. But what a race again we had in that first one. The Geiser fans are in, as you can see. You see what I mean with the smoke, the flares and everything else. But we are literally on the edge of our seats for the last 4 rounds. And I can almost guarantee that it's going to be set to continue here in race 2. Take a look at what happened in race 1, shall we? It was a good one, if you missed it. Right, keep your eyes on Tim Geiser, about 7 gates over from the right-hand side. That's crucial. As Jeremy Seawer went for his 3rd foxhole shot, Geiser got stood up here and then went off track, the wrong side of the barriers. A couple of riders went down, Benoit Paturel. Geiser then emerged there. And the deal we mentioned that is because that had implications on the result at the end of the race. Seawer led. Febvre was right there in 2nd. Herlings 3rd, Cairoli was 4th. Febvre, though, then took over the lead about 8 corners into the lap. The red plate holder, for the first time this year and for the first time since 2016, took over the lead there. And then Herlings went through just before the end of the lap on Seawer. And guess what? If you saw time practice, exactly the same mistake, swung him around. Seawer couldn't avoid him. Those two were then down in about 15th place. Ruben Fernandez wildcarding for the next 2 rounds. Around the outside of Koldenhoff, the two almost collided on the way out of there. But that was Fernandez moving up into 4th place. Tony Cairoli was in 2nd, but then Geiser on lap 6 found his way into that 2nd place, right in front of the Cairoli fans there. Jeremy Seawer charging his way back through the field. That move on Jorge Prado eventually worked his way to 5th position. Herlings then on Ruben Fernandez. Took him about 2 laps to find his way through. When he did, that was him for 4th place. Then, traffic. Cairoli got the wrong side of Hardy Rousior. Herlings was able to move into 3rd. Just ahead of him was Geiser. He went the long way round here and defended in the next line to take over 2nd with 2 laps to go. He then went after Romain Febvre. Febvre crossed the line just over a 2nd clear, but with Tim Geiser finishing 3rd, there was a 5-place penalty, maybe even a 30-second penalty, but it was 5 positions anyway. He eventually came home in 8th. Febvre winner, Herlings 2nd, Cairoli 3rd. And not a bad debut ride for Ruben Fernandez. He came home 4th ahead of Seawer, Prado, Olsen. Geiser 8th, Romain 9th, Lupino 10th. Everybody back in the pens, getting ready. Lisa Leyland was down on the grid a few moments ago, caught up with Matis Borromei and Alessandro Lupino.
We're almost ready for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2. Let's speak to home hero Alessandro Lupino. Alessandro, we're back in Mantova. Last time we were here, you're on top of the box with Team Italy at the Motocross of Nations. It was a crazy race for you back then. What are your memories like coming back here?
Yeah, for sure. Here we have our best moment of the year, but I think of the life. And the last moto for me was very tough, because out of the corner, like team up and in the first moto. But for sure, it's good memory to be on the top of the podium 2 months ago up here.
And just tell us, how was the first race? How's your day been so far?
It was pretty okay. The start was good. Just I was slow the first 3 laps. Yeah. I lost a lot of position, and then I ended in 10. Was quite good for the championship, but I have to wake up more in the first 2-3 laps.
Best of luck. Thank you. I'd like to speak to Matis Borromei just to see how he's feeling so far. Matis, you came back for the Italian round. You're on the 450. How's it been so far for you? How's your experience been?
For me, it's new class. MXGP class is not easy, but yeah, I enjoy a lot. Factory bike, and yeah, for sure, it's helping me a lot. And yeah, for sure, the third was tough for me, and yeah, now I'm to Montova. First race was good, a little bit down bump, but yeah, it's normal. And second race, I'm gonna enjoy more.
Best of luck. Thanks for chatting to us, Matisse. Good luck to all the guys. It's time for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2.
Gauthier Paulin here, talking to Steve Dixon about a return to racing for next year. Of course, I'm joking. Instagram posts will just go mad. Here's the top 5 in the championship as we see it. Romain Febvre continues to lead the championship. He is now 6 points clear of Jeffrey Herlings. Tim Geiser, with that 5-place penalty, is now 3rd, 7 behind the bullet, 13 off the lead. But you know what? That means absolutely nothing, because in terms of the way that things have been going so far this year, it is, you just don't know what to do next, what to think next, what to say next. You don't know what's going to happen next. 4th and 5th in the championship, 1 point in it between Prado, Cairoli and Seward, just 2 points further back. So the battle for 4th. We've got fireworks going on here as we anticipate race 2. That's how the riders line up, just as they did the same in race 1, based on their time practice session earlier. Herlings on pole for the 12th time this year. Febvre goes to line 2nd for the 3rd time. Then Cairoli, Lupino, his best qualifying, and the rest of the guys. Ruben Fernandez was 10th on his MXGP time practice debut. What an atmosphere once again in MXGP. And wherever you're watching in the world, north of here, south of here, east or west, upside down the other side of the world in Australia and New Zealand, I hope you are enjoying the show, because that's exactly what we've got. It's tense, and I can't even begin to imagine the tension between the top 3 riders in the championship. Romain Febvre was the coolest rider on track in race 1, arriving here with the red plate. Pressure, what pressure? There wasn't any. Did what he had to do. He won it. Tim Geiser, what's the mindset going into race 2 after that penalty from race 1? And Tony Cairoli, 3rd in race 1. Can he win the Grand Prix here today? The rest of the riders making their way to the line from the waiting zone. Kevin Strybros pulling in there, the 22. Geben van Venrooy, Yamaha. Simpson alongside him, then Brulikov. Van Donnick, Gio, Tom Cott, Watson, AJ, Coldenhoff, Jacoby, Dylan Wright, the Canadian, Albi Ferrato, Benoit Paturel, Olsen, and the rest of the guys there, as you can see. And once again, the big hitters are down on the inside. "30 minutes plus 2 laps. What are we going to get from race 2, I wonder? Green flag. Fly Racing, 15-second board. Up for the final time. You can feel the tension in the air. Fans on their feet all around this Mantova racetrack. You need to keep a calm head, but with the gate about to drop, that ain't easy. And Febvre, again, a good jump. He squeezes Herlings to the inside. Prado goes wide. He pulls a foxhole shot. We'll worry about that in a moment. But it's Prado who leads. Febvre 2nd. Jacoby at the inside in 4th, just ahead of Cairoli. Where is Geiser in all of this as Herlings moves into 2nd place? Prado goes to the outside, but not before Herlings took over the lead. There's Geiser, tucked in behind the 19 of Thomas Kier Olsen, but it's Herlings who leads the way. Prado 2nd, 3rd, Febvre 4th, Lupino 5th, Jacoby. Cairoli is in 6th place. Then we've got Bogas in 7th, Olsen 8th, Paturel 9th. Geiser is in 10th position. There he is on the jump over on the right side. Middle of the shot now, just there, behind Cairoli, pretty much. Jeffrey Herlings, clear track ahead of him. Jorge Prado between him and his main rival. Remember, Febvre has a 6-point advantage over Herlings going into this race. Looks to cut to the inside, thought better of it. Knows he doesn't want to get caught behind the 61 for any longer than necessary. Meanwhile, bottom of the picture, as Febvre goes inside Prado, or tries to, Geiser goes inside, but no pass on Bogas. He's still there in what, 6th place, 3, 4, 5, 7th place. Olsen behind him. Everybody trying to pick their lines accordingly. Wants to get through clean on this first lap. Certainly if you're a Herlings, Romain Febvre or Tim Geiser, the 3 riders. Oh, and Febvre almost off the bike. Both legs were off the pegs. Lupino in 4th position. His best mate behind him, Tony Cairoli, in 5th place. So Herlings, Prado, Febvre, Lupino, Cairoli, Bogas, Geiser 7, Olsen 8, Fernandez 9, Jacoby 10. The gap between Herlings and Prado over the line, 1.4 seconds, but Febvre needs to keep a cool, calm head here. Knows if he rushes the pass on Prado, in danger of making a mistake, because the harder you try to find a way past someone like that, who we know is very difficult to overtake anyway, the higher the risk of making a mistake yourself. And we saw that when he tried to push for the win in race 1 a week ago, when he ended up upside down the other side of a jump through the fence. Fortunately, that day, it didn't cost him any time, Romain Febvre. He still leads the championship as it stands right now, though. 1 point. Herlings doing what Febvre did in race 1. Get to the front, try and pull out a gap, just run your own race. And use the minimum amount of energy in the process as well. Cairoli found his way past Lupino. He moves into 4th place. And Geiser is making inroads as well. He's already up into 6th. He's found his way past Bogas. Bogas under pressure from Fernandez and Olsen. Seaver just behind them as well, just off the back of that group in 11th place. Tim Geiser needs to ride smart the opening laps, but he also needs to pass it. Oh, did he just grab his foot pegs in the deep rut there on the takeoff? Herlings sets the opening fastest lap then, a 1:58.1 compared to a 59.4 and a 2 minute. Everyone else behind him, 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 2s. Geiser past Lupino. He moves into 5th place. Bogas just behind the 77 and almost takes the front end away from Ruben Fernandez. A mistake there will allow Seaver to get alongside the Spaniard. Does he get his elbows out? Not quite. The interesting thing here will be with Fernandez. Fitness. He pushed hard in race 1 to finish in that 4th place, well, 5th before his fellow Honda rider, Tim Geiser. And the other side of the garage at HRC, of course, he's riding for Honda 114, is Ruben Fernandez, before he got up that few positions. But he put on a good show, put up a good fight, good pace as well. Fitness implications late on in the 2nd race today, who knows? Carves his way up the inside again. Febvre had to pull out of the challenge. Prado making it very difficult for him in that 2nd place. Nice pinpoint turn there, though, from the number 3. Herlings not exactly running away with it at the moment, though. He is opening up a gap as he continues to lead on the Red Bull KTM. His teammate Jorge Prado there in 2nd. The Monster Energy Kawasaki championship leader still, as it stands right now, by a solitary point. Gets good drive, though, and alongside Prado. Oh, always dodgy when you go opposite scrubs like that. Locks but he's into second place. So Febvre, a neat pass on Prado to take over second. He sets the fastest lap of the race in the process as well. He puts the gap back out to 3 points between himself and Herlings. That's the gap between first and second, the width of your monitor. Cairoli there in fourth place. Geiser, what's his lap time? A 2:08. Cairoli 59, Prado 59, Febvre 57, Herlings a 58.2. On this kind of form, this kind of speed, on that one lap there, where he also found his way past Prado, would you bet against Romain Febvre going 1-1? Just putting it out there, guys and girls. Oh, Tony Cairoli just scrubbing the edge of the bank there with his left leg. But then look at Sector 1, 29.5, 30.3 between Herlings and Febvre in Sector 1. All of a sudden, he's found another gear. 30.2, 30.7. Watch this here. That was when his feet came off the pegs, and then this is when he found his way past. Just another mistake there, look. Head-butted the mudguard almost. Then, better drive. And that was a pass for second. So Herlings, bottom of his screen. Febvre coming in the shot any moment from the left. Cairoli all over the back of Prado. As it stands now, Herlings 2-1 takes the overall. Febvre 1-2 takes second overall, same points. They leave here 3 points apart, the same as they arrived. Cairoli is third on the podium at the moment with a third and a fourth. Would be 2/3 if he finds his way past Jorge Prado. And there's Geiser. Wonder how much that's detuned him, that penalty. He's fifth in the race at the moment. He's on par now with lap times, 1:58 with Febvre in second position. Quicker than the guys around him, so maybe he's just taken time to settle. But he's going to need every single point because that gap only widening as it stands right now. Jeremy Seewer, number 91. He's found his way past Lupino, and Bogas. So Seewer going from 8th to 6th. Fernandez find his way past the standing construct gas as well, the 189. So Fernandez enjoying life on the 450 at the moment. Meanwhile, Prado and Cairoli. Third and fourth position for the two KTMs. Febvre just pulling clear in second place. He also knows every point is vital. Just 2 races left after this one, of course, on Wednesday, the final round. How hard does Febvre push to take as many points as possible? That's the question. How hard does Herlings push to stay ahead of the Kawasaki rider? And what about Geiser? Third in the championship, fifth in the race, closing in on the two KTMs. How hard does he push for every single vital point now for Team HRC? Febvre, a 57.0. Took a second and a half out of Herlings that time around. The gap 2.5 seconds. Can he maintain that though, yes or no? Fans all around the racetrack urging Cairoli forward past Prado. The French fans and the neutrals that support Romain Febvre likewise wanting him to close down the gap. He loses 3/10 in Sector 1 though that time around. Cairoli on his farewell tour, the final 2 races of his career, still trying to find his way past his younger teammate. would love to be on the podium at the very, very least. He's there at the moment. See how hard he's working, though, to find his way past Jorge Prado. Oh, bottom of your screen, Romain Febvre is definitely looking like he's closing, but that gap still looks like it might be still around 2 seconds or thereabouts. But then Herlings goes fastest at sector 3, only by another couple of tenths or so. Geiser closing in, top left. Cairoli tries to launch it down the inside of his teammate. Feels like he's probably getting held up here by the young Spaniard. He goes around the outside, but Prado knows that the outside, especially getting passed by Febvre, maybe not as effective. Has to cut across the berm. Goes in and out a little bit earlier as well, but look how deep that berm was that he just caught on the exit of the first corner. And while these two trip each other up, Tim Geiser closing in inch by inch. Again, damage limitation today for him. You see Prado clearly holding Cairoli up now. Because don't forget, in the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th in the championship, Prado 5.17, Cairoli 5.16, Siwa 5.14. Is there still something to fight for there? Clearly there is. Again, inside, outside. Prado goes outside, outside. Oh, Cairoli! How did he save that? Watch this here. Very lucky there, Tony Cairoli. Maintains that 4th place, though. .3 seconds between the first two. Now, that's the gap between the first two into the final turn. Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM, the Monster Energy Kawasaki of Romain Febvre. Herlings at 57.808, Febvre at 58.4. The gap now almost 3 seconds between the first two. Cairoli still hasn't found his way past his teammate Prado. Not for the lack of trying, though. And again, another little swap from the Italian. Oh, and a mistake there. Is that going to be a gift for Geiser? It is. So Geiser into 4th place at the expense of a Cairoli mistake. Tries to retaliate immediately. Watch this. He just came in too hot, stood up, just lost his balance. Geiser quick to react. Geiser up to 4th. Still going to be okay for the podium, I think, though, by a point. But Tim Geiser, gifts don't come along like that very often, but he'll take that one both hands. It's a gift of 2 more points for the championship. But Cairoli going to go straight back after the Slovenian, and he knows he's got a race on here. Does the 2:43. Can sense it from the fans, trackside, and the atmosphere all around this Mantova racetrack. The urgency of Cairoli to retake that position. There's that nice line. Launching over the braking bumps. Throws you to the outside, though. Cuts back to the inside. Can't get over the berm. The pace these guys are pushing around here on a tricky racetrack looks a lot easier on TV, believe me. The level these guys are at the moment in MXGP. But it's anything but easy. Nothing in it between Geiser and Cairoli as they hit the line. He tries to cut back to the inside. Takes the shortest route through, and he almost made it happen as well. Duct tape man's found a shirt sponsor that prints his numbers for him this week. But Prado hanging on to third now as he comes under attack from Geiser. Trying to go around the outside. That's where he wrestled his Honda with the bank this morning in time practice, Tim Geiser. 2 more points would be nice. Listen to the crowd here as they urge Cairoli on. Hanging off the back of that KTM, he's right back onto the rear wheel of Geiser once again, who's been pushed up to the rear wheel of Jorge Prado. This is a 3-way battle for third. No way through there for Cairoli. Geiser getting closer to Prado. Is he going to be able to cut back here? Yes or no? He's going to go for it. Not able to make it happen, though. Takes the higher line. They almost come out side by side, but that momentum keeps the Honda there ahead of the KTM. Working their way towards the end of lap 9. Herlings over the line already. He's almost 5 seconds clear of Romain Febvre. Prado, Geiser though, fighting over third. Cairoli losing ground in 5th place. See, we're about 6 seconds further back. Then Fernandez, Lupino, Bogas, Olsen rounding out the top 10. Right. Again, Geiser looking to go around the outside. Look how shiny the base of the jump is there. Bit of a kick. That's your virtual podium at the moment. Cairoli still on there by a point. But again, Geiser having to go the long way round. He'll come out of there early, but Prado reading it well, but he does get alongside. Maybe the door will be closed at the end of the straight, will it? Well, he lets him have the inside, but I'm not sure if he's going to get through there because it's so deep when you get mid-turn. But then he goes around the outside. Great move that from Geiser. All of a sudden, 2 more vital points. He moves into third. It's taken 9 laps to get there. And once again, Tony Cairoli closing in on his teammate this time. Prado now in 4th place. Look how deep that rut is there. Lost a lot of drive there. Watch this. Geiser went inside, didn't think it was going to happen, but this time Prado did not go round the outside of the mound, and that allowed Geiser through. They loved it. Tear-off hanging off the side of the goggles there. Cairoli on the right side. See, we're closing in as well. Meanwhile, here's your race leader, 7 seconds clear almost of Romain Febvre. Just picking his way through nicely. So 10 laps complete. Jeffrey Herlings will get the lead back to within 3 points. If it stays like this. Febvre on 6.61. Herlings on 6.58. Geiser now 6.46. Are we looking at just 2 riders fighting for the championship as we head into the final round? You just never know, do you? The last time 3 riders fought for the championship like this was back in 1986. You look back through history, Dave Thorpe, Andre Malherbe, Eric Gabors. 3 riders fighting on the same team, don't forget. They were all HRC riders back then. Going into the final Grand Prix of the year, Thorpe was on 2.81, Eric Gabors was on 2.78. Andre Malherbe just 1 point behind. The title was won by 5 points in the end by Dave Thorpe. Malherbe second, Eric Gabors was third. We've had plenty of other close contests where 2 riders going into the final round. We'll worry about that on Wednesday if need be. But cast your eyes back as again Cairoli makes another mistake. 1988 springs to mind, when Jean-Michel Bayle went into the final race, having trailed Davy Strybos in the 125 World Championship. They went into the final race tied on points, and it was Bayle who came out victorious that day. But look at these 2 tripping each other up once again. Siwa for the last couple of laps been chipping away. And the Yamaha rider, currently in 6th place. Mattis Romain tips over. He was just chasing Valentin Guillot, got away from him. That was for 20th position, so Mattis Romain will pick himself up just outside of the points. Meanwhile, 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Jorge Prado continues to head his teammate Tony Cairoli as Jeremy Siwa closes in. See how hard Cairoli is pushing. Little mistakes creeping in here and there. Back end just being asked to work overtime. Going to be on the podium, but does not want to be losing any more positions, really, if he can help it. Siwa 6, Fernandez 7. Good debut for 6th overall for the Honda 114 Motorsports rider. Lupino 8th for MRT, Marchetti Racing Team KTM. Bogas 9, the standing construct. Gas. There is Ruben Fernandez, number 70. Wonder how much he's going to be aching tomorrow. Again, Tony Cairoli getting stuck in that turn. Siwa alongside him. Going to find his way past the Sicilian. Can afford to lose a couple of points here, but not more than that. All of a sudden, Cairoli gets a hurry up then. This is also for 4th in the championship, don't forget. So Jorge Prado, Tony Cairoli, Jeremy Siwa. 4th, 5th, 6th in the race. 4th, 5th, 6th in the title chase as well. 5.35, 5.32. 5.29 as we stand right now. Nothing in it between these 3 all of a sudden. Prado just holding a tight line on a very wide KTM. Dancing his way nicely through the waves though. Siwa rubbing his hands with glee behind these 2, saying, yeah, you keep doing that. When I get onto the rear of Tony Cairoli, I'll just catch him unawares. And then all of a sudden, fresh pair of eyes on Prado. Might catch him napping as well. But as we've seen so often this year, 5 minutes can be like an eternity in this race. Still hasn't been able to find a way through. Oh, and another mistake there. Siwa closing back up on Cairoli. Race 1 was 18 laps. MXGP race 1. Cairoli struggling with that right, isn't he? Oh, Siwa loosening things up as he heads down towards the final corner. 13 laps complete. Prado, Cairoli, Siwa looking to put a nice wide sweep through this corner here, but not able to do so. Nice idea, though. Oh, holds it tight to the inside. Just saw the front end was a lot of movement there. Wasn't sure if it was going to save it. And Tony Cairoli getting impatient now. Took a daring lunge down the inside of Prado. The Spaniard frustrating the Italian. And Prado knows it as well, doesn't he? Squeezes him, look. This time he gives him a wide berth. Now he goes up the inside, takes over 4th place. Fans are up, but Prado coming back for more at the end of the next straight. You watch. He'll go inside, outside. Is there a reply? No. Not quite. Cairoli then up in the 4th place. Oh, here we go. I don't even know how many times we've seen these two bang bars and rub shoulders, but I thought there was another moment there. Siwa desperate to find his way past Jorge Prado in one go, if he can, at the first attempt. Prado goes to the inside. Siwa's going to get squeezed here and let him go wide in the next turn. "14 laps complete now." Watch this here. This was a lap ago. It was like, I'm coming for you. And then actually, better not. You might end up in row Z. His patience finally rewarded, though, with that move. Meanwhile, Romain Febvre almost 12 seconds behind Jeffrey Herlings. Febvre in 2nd position here. He arrived here with the championship leader's red plate. He maintains the championship lead by 3 points over Herlings as it stands right now. He has been very cool, hasn't he, Romain Febvre, today? Good recovery from race 1 to race 2, though, for Jeffrey Herlings. Remember, he fell on the opening lap, coming out of this next right-left combination. Bike got landed on by Jeremy Siwa there. Couldn't be avoided. Had to fight through to 2nd position. Here's what happened in the first race, actually. He was in 2nd, caught the bank just like he did in time practice. And then Siwa just couldn't avoid him. Took a while to get extricated from the bike, but when he did, Siwa made sure he tried to rip his seat off with a bit of a panic rev look. Fortunately, the bike was still intact. So 3 laps to go. We've had 15 so far. Fastest lap of race 1. Jeffrey Herlings 1:56.474 with 5 laps to go. Fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:56.766. So only 3/10 off the fastest lap in race 1. There's Febvre coming back in the opposite direction. So that was the gap between 1st and 2nd, 12.9 seconds. So Febvre just ready to defend at the final round. There's TKO in the background. Thomas Kjær-Olsen, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. He's in 10th place. 56 seconds down on the leader, though. But that, you know what? The pace of the top 3 in the championship this year has been phenomenal. Herlings already out of this bottom right corner, heading uphill. There's Febvre heading up the middle hill. Getting ready to take the two-lap board, just picking his lines. Siwa and Prado. This was for 5th. That was Siwa finding his way past the Spaniard then. Two laps to go for Romain Febvre. In terms of the championship, he moves to 6.61. Tim Geiser in 3rd, 6.46 now, so there's a 15-point gap between 1st and 3rd in the championship, the biggest it's been for a while. But just 3 points remain between the first two. So 2 to go. This race almost anticlimactic, the last half of the race, based on what we've had the last few rounds, few races. Back marker Miro Sievenen doesn't know whether to go left, right, or stay in the middle. Jeremy Siwa finds his way past though. The Yamaha rider gunning for Tony Cairoli. This is going to be for 4th place and a couple championship points in his chase for 4th place in the title race. Cairoli on 5.34, Prado 5.32, Siwa 5.30. So if he does find his way past Cairoli, they're all pretty much going to be on similar points again, aren't they? Identical points. But as you would expect, Tony Cairoli being urged on every step of the way. He's going to make the podium, so we're going to have another mass exodus towards the podium celebration. As fans who may not be here on Wednesday maybe say farewell to Tony Cairoli. Boutron, little freestyle move there, a little bit of a cheeky look back. Hand up, just acknowledges to Febvre, to Herlings. Find a way through, sir. One last look at the pit board for Jeffrey Herlings. A 2:02 now, the lap time, as he goes into cruise mode on this final lap. Febvre over the line in 2nd. He's been in cruise mode pretty much the second half of the race. Realizes, you know what, 2nd is good. 2nd, I'm still leading the championship. These guys are working stuff out as they go along. Would know the implications before the gate even drops if a certain situation arises. But Jeffrey Herlings on his final lap, quickly to the front, making up for the problems that he had in race 1. A much easier ride than he had in that first outing. He'll win the Grand Prix. Half a lap to go. Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, Jeffrey Herlings up the hill for the final time. On his way to Grand Prix victory number 98 and his 130th career podium. And he keeps himself within touching distance of a potential 5th world title. 3 points behind Romain Febvre as they head into the final round on Wednesday. Just picks that line nice and easily, no rush. Jeffrey Herlings works his way towards the finish line. The final turn awaits for the bullet. Jeffrey Herlings wins race number 13. He takes the Grand Prix victory as well. And Jeffrey Herlings is still in the hunt for the championship. We wait for Romain Febvre. Here he comes. The Monster Energy Kawasaki. Crosses the line, second overall. He continues to lead the championship as we head in the final round. Tim Geiss across the line, third, but is not going to be on the podium today. Never say never, though. Your overall classification: Jeffrey Herlings, your winner. Febvre second. Kai Rowley, who crossed the line in fourth, managing to fend off Jeremy Seewer, will take the third step of the podium. But for Jeffrey Herlings, win number 98, career podium number 130, and his 186th race win. And here is Jeffrey Herlings getting ready to speak to Lisa.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations, 8th GP victory this year. Well recovered in that second race after the first one. You're very much still in that championship hunt.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I already often I got like 8 counts, man, like a boxing match, but I kept coming back. So now it's all out war for the last race. I mean, 3 points in between. I think the championship more or less got between 2 of us instead of 3. So, you know, he played a bit dirty with the start to cut me off, but next time I start behind him, he will feel it. So if he does that one more time, but for the rest, you know, did a good moto, very consistent. First moto, you know, I really screwed up, crashed in the first lap. Had to go from almost last to second, but now second moto we put back where we belong, and looking forward to the next race a month away here.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Fighting talk from Jeffrey Herlings. Going to war at the final round if he has to. But he wins the battle here today. Round 17. He shares the points with Romain Febvre. They came in 3 points apart. They leave here 3 points apart. Febvre might still lead the championship, but the gap now and the battle down to just 2 riders, it would appear. But as we said, never say never. You can't rule out anything happening on the final round. Tim Geiss can bounce right back. Here's the official confirmation then for the race result here in Lombardia. Jeffrey Herlings victorious in the second race from Romain Febvre, Tim Geiss, Tony Cairoli, Jeremy Seewer, Jorge Prado, Ruben Fernandez and Brian Bogas, with Alessandro Lupino and Thomas Kjær Olsen rounding out the top 10. Then we had the Jerryman, Glenn Koldenoff, Ben Watson, Dylan Wright, Henry Jacobi, Benoit Paturel, Brent Van Donnick, Seba Brilikov, Alberto Ferrato and Valentin Guillot. Overall, on the day, Jeffrey Herlings and Romain Febvre go 1-2, 2-1. They share the points. The gap still remains 6. Tony Cairoli on the podium here, 3rd overall in front of his adoring fans. Tim Geiss, though, just missing out. Seewer rounding out the top 5. Good debut for Ruben Fernandez, coming home in 6th place. And the battle of the championship then, possibly down to 2 riders now as we head into the final 2 races of the year, the final round. Romain Febvre still maintains his championship lead over Jeffrey Herlings to the tune of 3 points. Geiss losing ground today, though. Look at the battle for 4th place. Tony Cairoli, 5.34, Prado 5.32, Seewer on 5.30. And the Manufacturers' Championship, KTM on top. Kawasaki up to 2nd, Honda down to 3rd. Fans making their way down past pit lane, down the start straight to witness the podium here today for what has been another sensational Grand Prix. The chainless chainsaws creating all the noise. At least they've had a good time. We have anyway. Take a look at the Fox hole shot and Jorge Prado. 16 in the books now for the Red Bull KTM rider. Romain Febvre on 6, Jeffrey Herlings on 4, Seewer 3, Tony Cairoli 2, Jacobi Monticelli and Koldenoff all with 1. If you've never been to a round of MXGP, where have you been all your life? Seriously, the action this year has been absolutely fantastic. Podiums at the end of the day, especially in places like this in Italy or in the Netherlands if Herlings wins, or Romain Febvre in France. Unbelievable. And they do like to wave a flag over here, don't they, in MXGP. Third overall, Antonio Cairoli, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, on the podium for the 179th time in his career, 33 of those as a third-place finisher. Romain Febvre, second overall for the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider. His 52nd podium. But the overall winner, Romain Febvre, went 1-2, Jeffrey Herlings 2-1. The Bullet, Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, on the top step of the podium for the 98th time, his 130th career podium, 186th race win. The missus is happy. Probably thinking about the shoe budget. Tony Cairoli takes his third place trophy. It's another visit for the 9-time legend. The fans getting what they came to see. Cairoli on the top step, or on the third step of the podium, I should say. Romain Febvre, Monster Energy Kawasaki, takes his second place trophy. Another one in the books for the Frenchman. How important will this podium be, though? Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, wins round 17. Just one round remain. The two riders, first and second today, still separated by just 3 points. Dirk Grubel, another trophy for the team cabinet. Ruben Turler pondering the ifs, buts, maybes, what shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and all the rest of it ahead of the next round already. Romain Febvre successfully defends the championship lead today, having picked up the red plate just a week ago. Will he turn it from red to gold in just a few days' time? Boy, have we got a showdown coming up. The final round on Wednesday. But for Jeffrey Herlings and the Dutch fans, the national anthem of the Netherlands. Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Lombardia. Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, Monster Energy Kawasaki's Romain Febvre, and Tony Cairoli from Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. Your top three here today, the penultimate round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Lombardia. Herlings doing it with a 2-1. Febvre a 1-2. Those two tied on points. Tony Cairoli a third and a fourth. We'll talk to the top three in a moment. Before we do, though, here's some highlights from MXGP Race 2. And what an atmosphere we had once again, folks. MXGP Race 2 down the inside into the first turn. Romain Febvre thought he got it, but it was Jorge Prado who grabbed the foxhole shot. He led the way from Febvre. Herlings was third. Lupino was in there fourth. Jacoby Cairoli was in there as well. But quickly into the lead, Jeffrey Herlings on the opening lap with that move around the outside of Jorge Prado. Tony Cairoli eased past his best mate, Alessandro Lupino. Geiser wasn't too far behind. Eventually, Romain Febvre did find his way past Jorge Prado and into second place. Tony Cairoli then made a rare mistake, allowing Geiser to go from fourth to third. Cairoli all of a sudden in fourth and under pressure late on in the race. Geiser swooped around the outside of Jorge Prado to move into third place. That was on lap 10. Then Tony Cairoli carved his way eventually down the inside of Prado as well. That put him into fourth. Prado then under pressure from Siwa. Siwa went by for fifth. Prado ended up sixth. Jeffrey Herlings victorious in the race by almost 20 seconds over Romain Febvre, and Tim Geiser, he was your overall winner as well.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. Two different races for you today. First race, you went down, had a lot of work to do. Second race, an okay start, rode your own race, stayed out of trouble, did exactly what you needed to do today for your championship.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I knew I used all my jokers going into the second motor, so I knew I had to win this thing. And I tried, you know, I did my best, I did what I could do, so we're -3 right now, but looking forward to the last race. You know, it's like I said, it's going to be war, you know, two different brands, two riders, and both for the same goal, and only one can win. So definitely looking forward to it, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So I want to thank Red Bull KTM Racing for the good job they did today, and yeah, for another GP win.
Thank you. Second overall today, we have Romain Febvre. Romain, there's a lot of pressure on you coming in with the red plate. You kept a cool head in race one, got the race win. A sensible second race, but you've defended that championship lead, so it was a good day.
Yeah, good day overall. Definitely, I don't feel any pressure to lead the championship, but yeah, first race was really good. I took the lead the first lap till the end, so was a heavy race, but still managed to win. And second one, I had again a good start, and then Febvre passes the first lap. I tried to catch him up after passing Prado, but yeah, he was a little bit faster, and then I think a little bit, I start to think maybe a little bit too much, but it's good. We go with the red plate for the last round, and then game on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Third overall today, we have Tony Cairoli. Tony, a solid day for you. Second race, it seemed like a frustrating second race. You were really pushing the pace, battle of the teammates, but really nice to be on the podium again in front of your home fans.
Yeah, very nice weekend, of course. When you are on the podium, it's always super nice, and of course, my two last races as a pro, and it's nice to be on the podium. If I can make it both on the podium, it would be amazing. A little bit not happy about the second motor because I had a good pace, but I struggled to go through Jorge, and yeah, the guys in front pull away, and I lost the momentum, and also the team passed me, and but anyway, I'm really happy. You know, like I said, to be on the podium is always nice, and in front of this crazy crowd is always super nice again. And thanks to everybody for coming.
Thanks, Tony.
Tony Cairoli, third overall here at home in Mantova for what is his penultimate Grand Prix on home soil. Third in race one, fourth in race two. He makes it another podium visit. 179 now in the career of the 9-time world champion. Romain Febvre may be thinking a little bit too much, but he does leave here with the championship leader's red plate still attached to the front of that Monster Energy Kawasaki. 3 points between him and Jeffrey Herlings now in the battle for the championship. Jeffrey Herlings victorious in the race and the Grand Prix, maintains touching distance for a possible 5th world title. Febvre going after his second. Tim Geiser, you know what? He's only 15 points off the lead, 12 behind Jeffrey Herlings. but you cannot rule anything out. We have the final round coming up on Wednesday, the MXGP of Città di Mantova, and we will be back here on Wednesday. We will see you then. Thanks for watching. We are still in a massive title showdown. The fight is very much on. We'll see you then. Hope you've enjoyed the action today. My name's Paul Malin. See you then. Bye for now.